Regardless of how this war ends, the villains have won. The Hero Society after this battle's conclusion will have hammered the final nail in its coffin. The full details of the war likely won't make the news. For example, details of how they managed to identify Dr. Garaki, or the power of All for One being passed on to Shigaraki. For valid reasons too. However, without full context, this will merely be another moment where the heroes fail to prevent mass destruction. Miscalculations and errors do happen, even in a hypothetically perfect hero society. The problem though is a series of major headline failures that have already caused trust to dwindle. After this latest catastrophe, it's safe to say society will fall, or rather, it will cease to exist. The heroes had the jump on the villains, and yet they waited and finally after striking they still managed to drop the ball. And don't get me wrong, I personally am not disappointed in the actions of the heroes in this war. After all, I know, we all know, what this threat really is, how great a threat it is. But to the public, these attacks are for the most part just villain attacks. They've been happening from the beginning of time. There isn't much special to them in the eyes of the public. The public was saddened, terrified even, at the retirement of All Might, and they had the right to be. A single man acted as the pillar of their world. Without him, without a pillar, a structure will fall. And poor Endeavor too. To be the one tasked with taking this place of this pillar, a false pillar can act the part, but it will no doubt fall from the right amount of pressure. In the end, he became the #1 hero, but he was doomed to fail, and for that reason you gotta feel bad for the guy. I imagine even the most competitive individual would cringe at the thought of replacing society's poster boy, the strongest hero, #1, All Might. Endeavor did take out the high-end Nomu Hood, however it was a close win. It wasn't a moment that gave society comfort. In fact, his victory might have created more fear than it did comfort. And to be clear again, we as the viewers know how damn strong a high-end Nomu is, and we're hyped to see Endeavor defeated. But the news only has so much information, and so to society again, it just looks like the heroes struggled to do their usual job. And let's not forget, this current war arc is not too long after Deika. Deika was a massive battle between the Meta Liberation Army and the League of Villains that in the end led to their fusion. During this battle though, there was pure chaos. Literally dozens of people were dying left and right, and environmental damage was on a whole other level. At the end of the arc though, we learned that to the public, what happened in Deika was a group of 20 individuals with a strong grudge against heroes attacked. They lured heroes out of the city with false information and commenced an assault which the people of Deika fought back against. Many civilians died, but in the end, the threat was defeated. Following the incident, some claimed that rampant quirk use by civilians only made things worse, but many people praised Deika's citizens as heroes who heeded the call of duty. In this battle, heroes 100% lost the trust of a good number of people. From this version of the story, it appears citizens are actually capable of protecting themselves. In the eyes of the public, hundreds died in Deika and Kamino because the heroes didn't do their job. So, following the war arc, I imagine this sentiment will only grow. Again, the heroes anticipated this attack, and yet we have a situation now where Gigantomachia is destroying city after city as he towers over them as if they're ants while the heroes watch, unable to stop him. He's already killed hundreds for sure despite the evacuation attempts, and it's only getting worse. The villains have already won because they've caused society to no longer trust the heroes. They've more than shook the world, they've now destroyed the foundation of it. And there's only more to this. How will society react when it's revealed Dabi is Endeavor's son? The #1 hero has a child who is a villain, and not just any villain at that, a key figure in the greatest threat they face today, the Paranormal Liberation Front. Endeavor is not a role model by a long shot, we all know this. But this would be hard for society to forgive and just move on from. And I suppose Endeavor would try to put an end to this by defeating Dabi, which would be great for him, but if Dabi gets to do any more harm prior, it might be too late to repair his image. And this is coming very soon most likely. In chapter 287, Dabi says, "Shigaraki's fighting Endeavor. Nice, let's prep." When asked what he wants to prepare for, he responds that he wants to prepare to take down this fake hero society. There are various ways he could go about this. possibly with the help of Skeptic, he could expose that there are first-year UA students in this battle to determine the future of society, showing just how underprepared the system truly is, the system all these citizens trust. They have children playing a key role in such a conflict. Yes, they have provisional license, but again, they're children. Dabi could also, quote, take down this fake hero society by attempting to reveal that Hawks, a pro hero, killed another pro hero in Best Jeanist, and possibly even mentioning twice. Now, I don't believe Best Jeanist is dead because of the tease at the beginning of chapter 288, but he might attempt to reveal this before realizing that Jeanist is in fact alive. And lastly, Dabi might have information about the Public Safety Commission that they wouldn't want the public to know. This man Dabi has options, any of them would deal a heavy blow, and we've made fun of Dabi being, oh, the true mastermind and all that, taking him for a joke, but really, this man might have some cards up his sleeve. It doesn't end there though. Shigaraki is currently damaged and only at 75% of his full potential, but Deku, society's hope, will not be leaving this battle in one piece. That alone, like all the other factors, will be a win for the villains. Shigaraki might be at 75%, but Deku after this fight just might drop down to 60% or less of what he is right now. He's progressed too fast, and we've talked about this in the video before. Logically, there needs to be some kind of kickback, regression of some kind. He's too far ahead of everyone else. It's most likely going to be related to his arms. He's been warned before not to push them beyond their limits again, or risk losing them, and he's here done it yet again. Realistically speaking, he's the main character. Come on, he won't lose his arms, but there will be something, at the very least a long recovery process that leads to a time skip for us post-war. There is a possibility of the Dragon Balls, Eri, erasing all the damage done in this battle, healing Aizawa, Deku, Bakugo, and maybe even others like Mirako. And yeah, that's cool. We get to see everyone continuing to be strong as possible. We get to see all our favorite characters continue fighting at their peak. But then going forward, there'll always be less at stake. We'll always have Eri to count on at the end of whatever destruction happens. There is still the loss of society's trust that can't be healed through rewinding, but that's not as satisfying as a more direct consequence of battle to our heroes. Eri does need time to store her energy for rewinding, but in the end, as long as the person is alive, she could rewind their body back to a healthy state. A lot of people would be alright with this, and I'm sure there are some that would find this corny. I'd love to hear from both sides on this, so be sure to leave a comment below expressing your feelings on Eri being My Hero Academia's Dragon Ball equivalent. But yeah, no matter what happens from here, the villains have won. The only thing left in this arc is to see exactly how it plays out, but the damage has been done and more is going to be done. With that said, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe to Plot Armor to never miss an upload. And for even more Plot Armor content, be sure to check out our Patreon, where you'll find exclusive content like manga spoiler discussions and art like you see in this video's thumbnail. Until next time, I'm KJ, have a great day, goodbye.